And we're back. Solid morning light shimmers against the light gray ceiling. I'd forgotten to draw the curtains closed last night. This is my room, isn't it? My room. This is the third room this year I'm supposed to call mine. Various things around here remind me that indeed it's me who is supposed to be the one living here. My bag's on the floor, my new school books on the desk, my numerous medications on the night table. I stare at the bottles for a moment, deliberating until I open a bottle, shake out a pill, and pop out a tablet from a foil sheet. Down them with a chaser of water, without thinking about the chemistry. My uniforms are in the closet. I slink out from under the sheets and stretch my back before dressing up. Putting on a new school uniform feels like dressing in someone else's clothes. The artificial smell of generic detergent invades my nose, but the feeling of fresh cloth against my back is a good one, a natural one. Feels like a school uniform, as it should. It's not much different from what I used to wear before. That goes for other things too. So far, this place seems more or less like a normal school. Except for the people. I think back to my talk with Kenji yesterday, Misha's constant laughter, and Shizune's sweeping sign language gestures. Well, I've only met 3 students so far. Maybe they aren't that normal, but I'm sure others are. Perhaps people like them are what pass for normal around here? Yeah, what does pass for normal around here? What do people do? I didn't see a lot of kids hanging around after class yesterday, so maybe there are clubs, so I wonder if I should join one. All through class, the question remains in my mind, so I decided to ask Shizune about it when we split into groups. After all, she did say if I had anything I wanted to talk about, I should ask her. You know sign language? She crosses her arms and shifts her gaze slowly to Misha, who looks more preoccupied with trying to grind the eraser of her pencil down so that the top is perfect and evenly flat. Sorry, Shi-chan. Is there something you want from me? Oh, I see. That's a good question, Yi-chan. My first thought is that means she doesn't know, which is worrying. Maybe I'm being too negative. Well, anyway, Misha, please don't prove me right. Well, that's right. Everyone is encouraged to join a club. A lot of people do so because there isn't really anything else to do. There are also school events, like the festival coming up in a few days. Almost every student in school tends to help out with it, doing whatever. So, you actually transferred in at a busy time, and maybe you can help out too. Sure. What's the festival about? Misha freezes. I don't know, Yi-chan. The truth is, it's a local event, and I'm not from this area, so... She starts signing desperately to Shizune, asking her to bail her out. Shizune adjusts her glasses at the end of an oddly grandiose flourish and starts signing hard and heavy. Huh? Oh. Who cares? Misha puffs out her chest as she shouts Shizune's words out at me with a disproportionate amount of pride. Too loud, I can see heads turning and look in our direction. Not so loud. Human beings evolve with each new generation. The ideals and beliefs behind a festival will inevitably change with time. Now it's about delicious fried food and amusing little games that you play to win prizes. Teacher clears his throat, very loudly batting his loud wooden pointer against his other palm like a baton. He shoots a pointed gaze at us. Finally noticing where we are, Misha stifles a yelp and quickly quiets down. Shizune doesn't seem embarrassed at all, though, brushing it off without a care. We're in the middle of class. We should start working. That's right, Shi-chan. Oh, that's right. Hi-chan, are you asking because you're interested in joining a club? Well, there's nothing else to do, it seems. Could have been my eyes playing tricks on me, but I think I saw a suspicious glance exchanged between them. Misha's tone has also changed, though it does that every other word anyway. Yeah, I was thinking about it. Misha and Shizune look at each other again. I'm about to ask what they have in mind when something dark flutters in my peripheral vision, catching my attention. Out of the corner of my eye, I see the girl with long dark hair get up from her desk and slip silently towards the door. Doesn't seem like she was working in any group, and no one seems to notice her but me. I glance at the teacher, who's also looking at the dark-haired girl, go. Why doesn't he say anything? Yi-chan, is something wrong? Do I look as uneasy as I feel? Or is Misha just looking after the girl who left? No, nothing. Okay, well, like we were asking, you don't have any plans for lunch today, do you? I thought I would go to the library and pick up some books. Not really. Do you want to have lunch together then? Sure. Yay! Okay, Jan, perfect. The rest of the class passes uneventfully. The girl with the long hair never came back. Before I have the time to put any more thought into where she could have gone, the teacher informs us that it's time to stop working. Shizune looks a little annoyed that we only just barely managed to finish all our work on time. I'm just glad we finished it at all. It's not a contest or anything. Yes, it is, Ichan. Possible. Really? Really. I noticed this before, but it's kind of funny how Misha is always moving her hands and signing not only everything she says, but what anyone else is saying at any given time. Obviously, it must be so Shizune can understand her. Her eyes dart back and forth between Misha's hands and me. I don't know who I'm supposed to be looking at. I'm talking to Misha, but that might be wrong. Maybe I should face Shizune. I'm used to looking in the direction of the person whose voice I'm hearing, but really? Shizune can't hear me, but it would be disrespectful to talk to her only through Misha. Then again, isn't that what she's doing? No, she's at least looking at me. This is all very confusing and will take some time to get used to. It's not a contest because contests are competitions over a prize. If there's no prize in the line, it's not really a contest. Shizune's eyes flash dangerously with competitive glare. She stares at me, as if surprised that I'm challenging her. I think maybe this is a contest to her. I never noticed before how dark and blue her eyes are. It's truly an alluring gaze. Are you sure, Yi-chan? Very sure. You're wrong, Yi-chan, because I don't want to be the slowest one in the class. Therefore, what's on the line is my confidence in my abilities, and the prize is the satisfaction of proving them. Shizune pushes up her glasses on the bridge of her nose in a very matter-of-fact way. I'd argue more, but the bell rings, and she quickly gets up and picks up her bag, looking at me expectantly. I'd almost forgotten that I was supposed to have lunch with them. Where do you want to eat? The cafeteria? That's so plain. Okay, let's go. Where else is there? Plain? Well, I guess. At my old school, I liked to eat outside, near the back of the building. It was a good spot, but I didn't find it until the end of my freshman year. I wonder if there's a similar place to eat here. Misha seems to imply as much. Shizune and Misha pull me towards the cafeteria, which is surprisingly not packed. Maybe some students favor eating in classrooms or outdoors. I saw some of my classmates had boxed lunches. After we finish eating, Misha picks up where we left off earlier. So, Yi-chan, you want to know about clubs and stuff, right? Right, Yi-chan. Okay, I guess it makes sense to ask first. Exchanging little nods of confirmation, they turn to face me again, and Misha straightens her posture as if she is about to deliver a speech. Yi-chan, do you have anything you're really interested in? I used to play soccer, but I'm not really into it. I don't follow the teams and players or anything like that. As of late, I usually just read a lot. It is a book club, Shi-chan. Right, but it seems like seems like they have all the members they can possibly have right now. Sorry, Yi-chan, it's a really popular club. Really, the book club is a popular club, okay. Okay, but more to the point, Yi-chan, does this mean you don't have anything else already in mind? Not really. Good, great, that's great, Yi-chan. Really great. Why is it so great? No reason. Well, Yi-chan, other than clubs and the upcoming festival, there is one other thing. Student council. I see, I didn't know the school had a student council. That was a very melodramatic setup, though, just to tell me that. Pretty sure the two of them know this because Shizune looks a little embarrassed about it and Misha is laughing. Shizune quickly retakes control of the discussion in a matter of speaking. After all, it's still Misha who has to voice whatever she says. Right. Yi-chan, maybe you should join the student council. They could use more people. Yes, definitely. You should definitely join. Why? Well, for one, we could hang out every day, Yi-chan. Shi-chan and I are both in the student council. Actually, Shi-chan is the president. Starting to get the suspicion that Shizune and Misha might not exactly be the most unbiased people to talk about this with. As if reading my mind, Shizune quickly adjusts her glasses and signs something to Misha. Of course we're not trying to get you to join just because we would obviously benefit from you joining the student council and therefore have an incentive to try and get you to... So you're admitting that... No, we admit nothing. I mean, Yi-chan, of course it would be nice if you joined and we'd appreciate it. But even without all that, joining the student council shows a healthy interest in the workings of one's school. Yep, it's true, Yi-chan. Aside, don't you want to spend time with us after school, Yi-chan? Can't tell if she is being genuine or if this is just really good acting. Both of them seem to be trying hard to look their cutest, although they are already pretty cute to begin with. Except that one, I don't think she's cute. Well... So it's settled then. Oh! Okay. What? No, no, exactly, yeah. See, Shi-chan, of course it wouldn't go easily. Yep, that's right, though it would be boring if it went that smoothly. Oh well, Shi-chan owes me candy now. You are betting on it? Hey, my life is not a game here. Shizune seems very intrigued by this when Misha signs it to her. The aggressive glint returns to her eyes. That's interesting, Hichan. Let's play a game. That's not what I said. How about rich man, poor man? Hichan, if you lose, you'll have to join a student council. No, absolutely not. Why not? Well, because you both have the same incentive and therefore the same goal, which is to get me to join the student council, right? Yep. Yeah, that isn't my goal. But what this means is that both of you can team up, and I'll be at a clear disadvantage, so I have to decline. Hichan, I'm very offended. Are you saying you don't trust us and that we would pull something disingenuous? That makes me sad. Sorry? Hard to tell where Shizune's influence ends and Misha's thoughts begin. In order to atone for hurting a young girl's feelings, you should definitely join the student council. No! How about a game of paper football? And what the heck is that? What the heck is paper football? Instead of rich man... I actually don't even know what rich man, poor man is. Paper football? Okay, thank you. Yeah, it's a game they play in America, it is. You make a paper triangle, then you try to shoot it past goalposts that other players make with their fingers. I have never heard of this before. Isn't it cool? It's the ultimate form of competition between two people. Yeah, I doubt that. It's also played by elementary and middle school children, Shi-chan. That means it's a game that really separates the boys from the men. More like the boys from the slightly older boys. Anyway, I'm not going to play that either. Just the fact that you know about it means you're probably surprisingly good at it. Yeah, that's true. How did you know, Hichan? Shizune frowns at Misha, telling me that she probably wasn't supposed to admit that so readily. I wouldn't say that I'm happy with their attempts to get me into the student council, but I'm a little curious about what the student council does here. I've never been on one before, or even known anybody who was a member, so it interests me. I also kind of like Shizune and Misha, so maybe it wouldn't be so bad. Okay, Chen, how about Risk? The game of world domination. That's one I can get behind. I don't know... What? I don't know what that is. What? It's really fun, Hichan. You fight for control of the world, with armies and everything. Sounds like Shizune would be good at it. If you want to play, we can after school. Really, Shi-chan? We can play just for fun, Hichan. Shi-chan... Shi-chan, Hichan, it's all so hard to say. Hasn't played in a long time, so if you want to, there are no strings attached. Well, okay. Okay, perfect. I'll see you after school in the student council room then, Hichan. Wait, why there? Because that's where we keep the game. I grimace to tell them how much I do not like this, but it's more for show than anything. So in the end, I agree, but only after getting Shizune to acknowledge that I don't mean anything concrete just by accepting to take a look around and play a game with her. Lunch ends and we go back to class. Nope, there she is again. During afternoon classes, the long-haired girl comes back and sits down in her seat without a word. Again, no one seems to notice, or if they do, no one says anything. I want to ask Misha about it, but I don't want to be nosy. After school, Shizune and Misha quickly find me by the first-floor lobby and latch onto me, covering each flank in case I might try to escape. I feel a little offended, but I've been considering it. Nevertheless, I'm a bit disturbed that enough people have made a break for it in the past that they're on the guard. What's with the escort? This doesn't make me feel very comfortable. In fact, it makes me feel like a dangerous prisoner being transported to a cell. What's wrong, Hichan? That's right, we're just going to play a game of Risk, remember? I don't know, Misha, this all seems a little sinister to me. I started thinking that when we were about... We sit down and play the game, they'll tie me down and torture me until I agree to join the student council. Well, that's highly unlikely, but still, for some reason, it just seems like it would be so plausible. Getting to the student council room was as simple as turning 2 corners from where we started. What? That's it? This makes you guys being so on top of me seem a little silly. That's not true, Hichan. Shi-chan says that when their life is threatened, people have shown the capacity to pull off superhuman bursts of speed. Life is threatened? Her expression unchanging, Misha assigns something amusedly to Shizune, who makes a baffling face and puts her hands behind her back, looking pleased with herself. Misha feigns deafness and hums cheerily. Stop that, I know you heard me. You have no excuse, unlike Shizune. Shizune opens the door to the student council room. It's a very plain, sparsely decorated room, although it is quite large, maybe even a little larger than the classroom. There's a big table in the center surrounded by chairs, and a smaller desk prominently placed in the back that I assume is Shizune's. There are a few regular desks and chairs stacked to one side as well. Extras, perhaps? Aside from the tables and chairs, the room doesn't have much else to offer. It's just a couple of filing cabinets and bookshelves stacked with old school records and documents. Not much else. In fact, nothing else. This is a pretty bleak room. They could at least put a potted plant in here or something. But the most noticeable thing is that this room doesn't have its other people. Are we early? Nope. What do you mean, no? Does it mean nobody else is coming today? Yep, that's right. Before I manage to ask why that's the case, Shizune claps her hands together very energetically. Ichan, let's play Risk. Come on, you promised, didn't you? You have to. Okay. Do you want to know the rules? He's never heard of it before, and you're asking him if he wants to know the rules. You don't have to ask. We can explain to you while we set everything up. While Misha is talking, Shizune takes out what looks like a board game from behind one of the filing cabinets and throws it on the table. Actually, this looks kind of interesting. After Misha spends a little too long for her liking running through the basics with a somewhat vague and confusing tutorial, Shizune cuts in and declares the game has started with a decisive motion, slicing her arm through the air. Shizune's aggressiveness is rubbing off onto me. I start feeling more competitive than I intended to be when I agreed to this. Halfway into the game, while I try to ponder how to defend against Shizune's assault from two fronts, she breaks my concentration by drumming her fingers on the table to get my attention. Shi-chan wants to know that you are taking too long to make a move. Shi-chan also says that she will let you keep Australia if you agree to join the student council. I thought this was a game with no strings attached. Just the fact that she would dangle that over my head as an offer means that she knows I care about the outcome of this game. And anyway, no. Shi-chan admires your fighting spirit and would be a benevolent dictator who will spare your people if you agree to join the student council. You're so competitive, Shizune. She seems to take this as a compliment. I would expect a student council president to be a little more magnanimous. I've never heard that word. Magnanimous? Yeah. She doesn't seem to know what the word means or how it's signed, so she pulls out a piece of paper and writes it for Shizune, who in return signs it back to Misha. Misha presses her index fingers against her temple as if trying to physically imprint the word into her memory. Suddenly, Shizune bursts into a flurry of gestures. Misha looks daunted by the pace of her heated signing. Oh wait, please slow down, Shi-chan. Shi-chan says you're going to lose. Tell her I will crush her world empire with my rebellion. Okay. Those eyes of hers shine like with childlike mischief. She says you have no chance if you keep playing like this. No, you won't. Well, save time, I guess. I hope there's no limit to saves, because I plan to keep saving. I almost hit quit. She has a point. Attack aggressively. It's likely that she's just trying to psych me out. Looking at the board again, I have a pretty good defense set up, and I'm not going to wreck it doing something reckless. A few turns later, I lose the game anyway. Shizune adjusts her glasses victoriously and allows herself to tentatively pump a fist in the air in celebration. Shi-chan, you lost when you allowed me to take North America. I mean, Shi-chan, not me. Getting control of North America is ambitious because it provides a 5 army bonus, but you can attack it from 3 fronts, so you must defend them all. I thought you'd have more guts. How disappointing. Ambition, Shi-chan, your play needs to be more daring. Ambition. I was really excited when you took South America, but then you switched to playing defensively just because you gained a small advantage. That's no good, Shi-chan. You didn't take enough risks. Haha, risks, get it? No. And when you didn't follow through. That's terrible, Shi-chan. Damn, what's it to her if I play too carefully? There's no need to rub it in my face. Why'd you get so close? Wonder if you'd even be any good for the student council. What's this, reverse psychology? I guess I don't have to worry about joining in that case. Giving up just like that, I expected more of you. Seriously, Shizune is trying to taunt me into joining the student council? Besides, I don't even want to join. It's only my second day. I can't make that kind of commitment. I haven't even taken a look at any other clubs yet, and these two, they're a little weird. Fine, I'll consider joining the council, but I want to take a look at the clubs before I decide. Really, He-chan? You're not just saying that to make us feel better? Yeah, I'm just not sure that I want to. Huh. Okay, He-chan, but we're not going to give up so easily. You said maybe. There's still a chance he'll come around. Come on, we could really have fun. We could play more Risk, and maybe one day you could beat me, unless we graduate before that. That doesn't make me feel any less reluctant about joining, you know. Surely you're not that horrible at board games. Maybe we can play a game you know then, to give you a handicap. I might have said that just to make you feel better after all. Oh, that's cold, He-chan. I took a glance at the clock on the wall and realized I've spent far longer playing Risk than I expected. Sorry, I think I have to go. I wanted to go to the library. It's not closed yet, is it? Shizune scratches her head and gestures at Misha. How hard can it be to determine whether the library is open? There's a clock right there on the wall. It should be, unless the librarian is absent. I think you're right, Shi-chan. We think the library is open. It's on the second floor. You can't miss it. Do you want us to show you where it is? No, thanks. It's okay. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. One flight of stairs up and I run into problems. The second floor hallway is a carbon copy of the third floor one. Wide, of course, and plain, like only hallways can be. The problem is that the library's whereabouts are not as easily determined as one would think. Classrooms are marked with signs stating which class they belong to, but then there's a plethora of other unmarked rooms. Is the library one of them, or is it just somewhere down the hallway? I bet on the latter and choose my direction at random. After I turn around the corner, an unmarked door draws my attention because it's not closed. It's not open either, just barely ajar, so I can see it's open and nothing else. It makes sense for the library door to be invitingly open, and while this one is not quite that, it's good enough. At the very least, it means that someone is inside and I can ask for the directions, no matter how embarrassing that is. I gingerly push on the center of the door with my fingertips, every muscle in my arm ready to pull back at a moment's notice. The feeling of being an outsider to the school can't be shaken from my mind, so much so that I instinctively fear doing something wrong by entering. The door slowly creaks as if groaning from a deep sleep, though it is much easier to open than I expected. Leaning over and poking my head even further inside to gain sight of the room as fast as possible, the meek hello on my lips is quickly snatched away. This is not as I was expecting. I mindlessly let the door open to its full extent, taking in the sight of the solitary figure taking center stage in the otherwise abandoned room. Situation steals my voice, leaving me standing at the doorway staring at the beautiful girl. Evidently having taken our time to assess the situation, the girl gently puts down her teacup and opens her eyes, but doesn't look at me. Hello there, may I help you? Staring directly in front of herself, the movements of her lips seem to break the silence rather than the words. However, it's a soft, measured voice that reminds me she's a being separate from the room itself. Not only is she likely the tallest girl I've ever laid eyes on, but even among the foreigners I've met she's strikingly distinct. Hi, sorry for intruding, I was just kinda lost. She takes a moment to formulate a response before speaking. Every action she takes feels as if it's carefully choreographed beforehand. Care to take a seat? Unexpected, considering I'm intruding upon her. Thanks. I slowly step toward another seat opposite of her, the girl resting the teacup and saucer on the wooden table in between. The way she doesn't track my movement with her head is telling. That and the slight cloudiness in her eyes means she must be at least partially blind like Kenji. Come to think of it, her voice doesn't have any detectable accent either. I guess she must be half Japanese. As I take my seat, her composure takes me slightly off guard. Her air of relaxed confidence makes the silence entirely comfortable. The calming atmosphere is so very different from the student council office. Teki, you're a new student to Yamaku. Yeah, I just transferred in yesterday. I get the distinct feeling my speech patterns don't match the formality of hers, accentuated by her restrained bow of greeting. one which I hasten to match before realizing the futility of the action. "I am Lily Seto. Pleased to meet you. Hisao Nakai." She gives a nod before gesturing roughly in the direction of her teacup. "Would you care for a drink?" "Sure. As much as it pains me, I can't keep step with her formality in the proceedings." She gives a kind nod, taking the request in stride. Without another word, she steps off the chair and prepares a second cup of tea from a collection of supplies laid out along a shelf. A brush here, a brush there, her left hand often lightly touching the side of whichever container she's pouring into. It seems to be a process she's followed dozens of times before. As I lean sideways to see her around her back, she seems to use her long, dainty finger to measure the right amount of water in the cup. It's one thing to see the different disabilities the students in my class have, but it's quite another to see how everyone seems to adapt. Shizune and Misha have no problem working together to communicate to me, and Lily herself seems to have workarounds for problems I've never heard of. I need to take a drink. Alright. While I feel slightly guilty about her doing the work, she seems pleased to be following the correct process to the offer of preparing the drink. So, her soft voice brings me out of my silent observance. "Which room were you looking for? It's not often this classroom is visited after school." "The school library. Shizune and me, I mean some classmates, told me it was on this floor." She finishes pouring water into the teacup as she nods, a small metallic tapping coming from the teacup indicating it being stirred. "I'm aware of Miss Hakamichi, as are most students. To be with them means you're class 3-3, you know?" That's right, in the science room with Muto." She gives a small giggle before setting down the teaspoon and slowly walking towards the table, teacup and saucer in hand. "He's quite a teacher. I imagine you'll come to like him. Most do." As she sets down the tea, I gently take it and have a sip. I'm really more of a coffee person, but this seems like a rather bad moment to bring it up. Nonetheless, the smells quite nice. I hardly think it'll be hard to choke down. "Thanks, Seto. It tastes really nice." She smiles and quickly waves her hand in front of her face. "Lily, please, there's no need to be too formal." She says this in spite of her exceedingly well-bred speech. Oh well. I guess I should try and ask her about herself, as it really does seem as if she's catering to me. "So which class are you from? I imagine it's one of the third-year classes?" "Correct, I'm in class 3-2, which is on the third floor, same as yours. It's taught by Miyagi, and is specifically for both blind and partially blind students." "I see. Sorry." I feel like slapping myself for the faux pas. Looking at her face, though, she doesn't seem in the least bit put off by it. My, there's no need to change your speech on my account." Sure, sorry, I guess I'm really showing my newness here." "An environment like this would be a big change, so I can't fault you for it. Well, the same can't be said for everyone. Many have come to terms with their conditions." Category which would include her, it seems. All too ready to jump ship from this particular topic, I segue into another. "Do you come here to drink tea often? It's a really nice place." Thinking on it, this might be her version of the place behind my school that I like to have lunch at. "I come here fairly often during lunch times. My duties as class representative don't leave enough time for an official club, so a friend and I use this room for having tea." Class rep, huh? Compared to Shizune, her mannerisms seem to be almost completely opposite. While Shizune is blunt and fiercely driven, Lily seems relaxed and calm, almost aloof. Come to think of it, she might be useful for a less biased view of the school's clubs. What kind of clubs are there to join? The more popular ones are the track and field club, which uses the field near the school during lunchtimes, the baseball club, and the book club in a room near the library. There are also numerous small ones, though, such as the art and music clubs. At a time when I'm just wanting to get on my feet, rushing into a club right away seems slightly unappealing. I wonder if this school shares the same rule as my old one. Is it compulsory to join a club? It isn't, though it is encouraged. Good, that's a relief. I really let down my guard around this girl, let such a thing slip out. The fact seems to slightly amuse her. Not wanting my tea to get cold, I finally start drinking it as Lily does the same. As I look over to the window over her shoulder, I notice the light coming into the room has a distinctly orange tint. Even here, time doesn't stand still. The time's gone quickly. Sorry? Right, she's blind, of course. She can't see the sun setting. It just looks like the sun's starting to set. Seems to come as a surprise for her. I guess she must have lost track of the time. Sorry, Zhao, I didn't mean to keep you from the library for so long. I quickly moved to allay her concern. I know, it's okay. The library's still open, isn't it? She pauses and takes a moment to think on it. It's probably something I should have asked Shizune when I had the chance, but Lily seems likely to know in any case. True, it's open until 6:30 during weekdays. A quick glance at my watch confirms I have well enough time to get there. I might need to get going in that case. It's been nice talking with you, Lily. She smiles and gives me a deep nod, her hands still neatly folded on the table in front of her. It was my pleasure. Oh, come to think of it, shall I show you where the library is? I couldn't possibly ask for more help. I should be able to find it all right. Well, unless my navigation skills fail me, which they seem to have a habit of doing. It's alright, I was going to be talking to the librarian there in any case. I could introduce you. This gets better and better. It's pretty hard to deny her offer. If you're sure, then that'd be great, thanks. As she stands up to follow me, she takes hold of a straight, retractable cane that had been slipped in the handle of her bag on the floor. Compared to the cane the boy in my class had, Lily's looks much thinner and longer. His must be for support, whereas Lily's is for navigation. Together we leave the peaceful room and enter the empty hallway on the way to the library. Side by side, my pace carefully slowed to match hers. We slowly walked through the hallway. It doesn't take long for us to arrive at the door to the warm-looking room, apparently situated in the center of the floor rather than either wing. Ladies first. She gives an appreciative smile at the gesture, taking the lead as we file in. To the left is the wooden library counter, with the library proper being on the right. It easily dwarfs my old school's library, with the distinct smell of old books giving the place an almost old-world air. There don't seem to be a lot of students here, considering the time. It isn't a big surprise. Everyone's probably either in the school grounds or in the dorms. Yuko, are you here? She says it to thin air since the librarian doesn't seem to be present, and of course Lily can't see this. What's unexpected is that it draws a reaction. Something from under the counter thuds against it, followed by a quiet wail. The origin, apparently the librarian, quickly crawls out and bounces up to extremely rigid attention. Hi Lily, how can I help you? Her voice is strained in a failing attempt to sound casual, and she's rubbing the back of her head. Good afternoon. What happened just now? I heard a strange sound. It's nothing, I just hit my head. See, I dropped an eraser under my desk, and while I was looking for it, a pencil dropped, and when I was looking for both of them, you came in and surprised me. Are you alright? I'm sorry, I couldn't know. It's okay. It's okay for making you worry. Sorry for making you worry. This is nothing. I've had worse happen to me. She's quick to reverse Lily's apologies, almost frantically trying to push aside the possibility that she could be any way inconvenienced by bashing her head on the counter. Yes, worse things have happened. The girl fidgets with her fingers as Lily doesn't seem to drop her concerned expression, and she shuffles some papers around the counter for no reason. A little shorter than Lily, replete with glasses, freckles, and a very troubled look, she seems to fit a librarian perfectly. Ah, Lily, did you get my message? Message? Oh, the 2 imported books that arrived. Right, they finally came. I can't believe it took so long, but... Amidst her celebrations, partially for managing to change the topic, I'm sure, she notices me from behind the corner of her eye and freezes on the spot when she does. Oh no, I'm sorry for not noticing you before. Did you need to check out a book or return one? I'm sorry. The way she can so quickly shift between moods is a little unsettling. Ease with me, Yuko. This is Hizao, a new student. Hizao, this is Yuko, the school librarian. Pleased to meet you. Hizao, right? Hizao, pleased to meet you too, Hizao. For a second, she visibly attempts to engrave the name on her mind so she won't forget. Yuko often arranges to import foreign books in Braille for me. Would you like to tell Hizao a little something about the library? Lily's innocent suggestion is met with an expression of abject terror. Please, Lily, I can't. I don't know what he could be interested in. This is too much responsibility. How it's any responsibility at all, I don't get. But her objection is so sincere, I don't doubt for a second that she would rather disembowel herself on the spot than tell me where the right light novels are. But so there are a lot of books in Braille here? I attempt to save the day by asking the first thing that pops into my head. It seems to work at least partially, as Yuko seems to not exactly relax, but at least look slightly less tense. Well, I think about a third or a fourth of Yamaku's library is either in braille or audio. Makes sense, given all the blind students that'd be here. If it's only that, how come this library is so big in the first place? Well, we get a lot of new books regularly because the library is adequately endowed, and that's probably why. I spend more on new books than on my salary, and then I have to organize and shelve all of them. So troublesome, and they waste so much. I wish I could quit this job. Very awkward silence follows this revelation of too much information. I'll go check the aisles then, if you don't mind. It's probably best for all of us if she doesn't keep talking to me. Very well. Meanwhile, Yuko, I would have those books if it's alright with you. My first impression was right. The library is surprisingly big. Ambling down the narrow aisles, I study the spines of the books in random order, occasionally sliding one out to read the blurb, taking it with me if it looks good. In a few moments, I have a respectable stack of books in my arms. Guess I'll never be stuck for choice here. The normality of the library sinks in. Sure, there are large print and braille books scattered throughout, but it is what it is, a library. It's as if the calm mood from the room I had tea with Lillian snuck with us in here, unless it was here to begin with. Something about that puts me at ease, just like before. I reach the end of the aisle and find a collection of desks set up for study or personal reading. Going a little further, though, I discover a nice, quiet corner at the back. While the rest of the library has the odd student sitting at a desk, either reading or stealthily sleeping, the back is pretty much deserted. As I glance around, I see someone who I recognize sitting on one of the several beanbags. It's the dark-haired girl from my class, the one who snuck out of the classroom earlier. Well, I think I'm going to end it there. Oh man, this is a lot longer than I thought it was. Anyway, thank you for watching, and goodbye.